Hey, gossip aficionados. Welcome back to the juiciest corner of the internet, where we spill the tea on the most controversial political figures. Today, we are diving into the world of Nancy Pelosi, a name that has become synonymous with leftist policies and liberal agendas. From pushing radical legislation to playing political games, we are here to expose the three biggest scandals that have everyone talking. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through Nancy Pelosi's most outrageous moments. First up, let's talk about Nancy Pelosi's enthusiastic support for the Green New Deal. This radical environmental proposal aims to overhaul the American economy by pushing for net zero greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to 100% renewable energy, and implementing sweeping social policies. For many right-wing Trump conservatives, Pelosi's endorsement of this plan is nothing short of a scandal. Pelosi's backing of the Green New Deal has been a major point of contention. The proposal, championed by the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is seen as an extreme measure that would devastate traditional energy industries and burden the economy with trillions of dollars in new spending.
A country the equivalent of taking millions of cars off the road.
Unlike Trump, who prioritized American energy independence and deregulation, Pelosi's support for this leftist agenda is viewed as a direct attack on economic freedom and prosperity. Critics argue that the Green New Deal is a socialist Trojan horse, using environmental concerns as a cover to push for massive government intervention in the economy. Pelosi's alignment with this plan only reinforces the perception that she is willing to sacrifice American jobs and economic stability for a utopian vision that is both impractical and costly. This starkly contrasts with Trump's focus on job creation and economic growth through lower taxes and reduced regulations. Moreover, Pelosi's advocacy for the Green New Deal highlights her disconnect from the realities faced by ordinary Americans. The proposal's ambitious goals would require significant lifestyle changes and financial sacrifices, particularly for middle and lower-income families. While Trump worked to reduce the cost of living and increase disposable income through tax cuts, Pelosi's support for this plan suggests a willingness to impose financial burdens on the very people she claims to champion. In conclusion, Nancy Pelosi's support for the Green New Deal is a prime example of her radical leftist agenda. For right-wing Trump conservatives, this scandal underscores her willingness to prioritize ideological goals over practical solutions that benefit everyday Americans. In stark contrast to Trump's policies, Pelosi's endorsement of this plan reveals her true colors as a proponent of big government and economic control.
Last Tuesday, we observed the anniversary of the adoption of the Constitution on September 17th.
Next on our list is Nancy Pelosi's role in the impeachment of Donald Trump, an event that has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many conservatives. Pelosi spearheaded not one, but two impeachment proceedings against Trump, both of which were seen as partisan attacks rather than genuine efforts to uphold justice. For Trump supporters, these actions were nothing more than political theater aimed at undermining a president who put America first. The first impeachment in 2019, centered around the Ukraine phone call, was criticized for its lack of substantial evidence and perceived bias. Pelosi's decision to move forward with the impeachment was viewed as a desperate attempt to weaken Trump ahead of the 2020 election.
The question is on adoption of Article 2. The question is on the...
Unlike Trump's administration, which focused on delivering results for the American people, Pelosi's actions were seen as a distraction from her failure to address pressing national issues. The second impeachment in 2021, following the Capitol riot, was equally controversial. Many conservatives believed that Pelosi's rush to impeach Trump was fueled by political vengeance rather than a genuine concern for the country. The expedited process and lack of thorough investigation reinforced the perception that Pelosi was more interested in scoring political points than seeking the truth. This approach contrasted sharply with Trump's calls for unity and healing in the aftermath of the riot. Pelosi's handling of both impeachments drew criticism for its divisive nature. Rather than fostering bipartisan cooperation, her actions deepened the political divide and fueled further polarization. Trump, on the other hand, consistently called for putting America first, prioritizing the nation's interests over partisan politics. Pelosi's focus on impeachment was seen as a diversion from her responsibility to address the needs of her constituents. In the end, both impeachment attempts failed to remove Trump from office, further solidifying the view among conservatives that Pelosi's actions were nothing more than political stunts. Her willingness to exploit the impeachment process for partisan gain left many questioning her commitment to serving the American people. In contrast to Trump's results-driven approach, Pelosi's focus on political gamesmanship exposed her as a leader more interested in power than progress. Finally, let's delve into Nancy Pelosi's hypocrisy during the COVID-19 pandemic, a scandal that has left many right-wing conservatives shaking their heads. While Pelosi publicly advocated for strict lockdowns and mask mandates, her private actions often contradicted her own directives. This double standard was a glaring example of the rules for thee, but not for me mentality that many accuse her of embodying.
Gift shops in Chinatown, if you can see her live now. She has been
One of the most infamous incidents was Pelosi's visit to a San Francisco hair salon in September 2020, at a time when such establishments were supposed to be closed due to COVID-19 restrictions. Security footage showed Pelosi walking through the salon without a mask, sparking outrage and accusations of hypocrisy. For Trump supporters, this incident was emblematic of the elitist attitude that they believe defines Pelosi's leadership. Pelosi's actions stood in stark contrast to Trump's approach to the pandemic, which emphasized personal responsibility and the importance of balancing public health with economic survival. While Trump pushed for reopening the economy and protecting individual freedoms, Pelosi's stringent lockdown measures were seen as draconian and detrimental to small businesses and workers. Her own disregard for these measures only fueled the perception that she was out of touch with the struggles of everyday Americans. Furthermore, Pelosi's handling of COVID-19 relief negotiations drew significant criticism. Her refusal to compromise on stimulus packages was viewed as a political tactic to undermine Trump's administration rather than a genuine effort to provide relief to those in need. While Trump worked to deliver timely assistance to American families and businesses, Pelosi's political maneuvering delayed much-needed support, exacerbating the economic impact of the pandemic. The contrast between Pelosi's public rhetoric and private actions during the pandemic highlighted a deep disconnect between her leadership and the values of the American people. While Trump prioritized transparency and consistency in his messaging, Pelosi's hypocrisy eroded trust and credibility. For right-wing conservatives, this scandal underscored her failure to lead by example and her prioritization of political agendas over public welfare. In conclusion, Nancy Pelosi's COVID-19 hypocrisy is a scandal that reveals her true character. For right-wing Trump conservatives, it exemplifies her elitist attitude and disregard for the principles of accountability and integrity. Unlike Trump's consistent and pragmatic approach, Pelosi's actions during the pandemic demonstrated a leadership style that is disconnected, self-serving, and ultimately damaging to the American people.
That puts families first.
There you have it, folks. The top 3 scandals that highlight Nancy Pelosi's most leftist and hypocritical actions. From pushing radical environmental agendas and exploiting the impeachment process, to displaying blatant hypocrisy during the COVID-19 pandemic, Pelosi's actions have left many questioning her commitment to serving the American people. Stay tuned for more juicy gossip, and remember to always scrutinize the actions of those in power.
Whatever his name is, ISA, and this is why I've said this is a game changer, that it's a whole new ball game. This is me throwing up the ball.
I hope you liked this video.
I think so.
If you did, make sure to subscribe as I will continue posting only the best celebrity and K-pop videos. This was Watch Wave, and until next time, have a good one.
But it wasn't wisdom. Take it off the table.
He's publicly said...
Take it off the table. It's just, don't mess with the children. Oh, I do think the House of Representatives at this time is an unsafe...